Morning guys. So we're gonna do a video this morning on how to make your first $1,000 on the farm, but we came to do chores to get started and apparently a gate was left open in the barn and a horse decided to tour the barn, found the feed, pooped in like 10 different areas. So just part of the farm, animals get out. So we're gonna get this cleaned up, then we're gonna talk about how to make your first $1,000 on the farm. All right, let's do it. All right, barn is clean. Things like this will just throw your whole day off, and it's just part of farming. You got to be prepared for it. And anyways, it sounds like one of my daughters left the gate open last night. Can't blame them. They're helping out, and that's what I appreciate. You know, we talk about accidents happen. What can we do to make it not happen again? Move on. So, got the barn clean. I've got to get the cattle some hay. I'll show you our feed system we're doing this year for the hay. And then we're going to talk about how to make your first $1,000 on the farm. Alrighty, we've got most of the chores done, and today I want to talk about how to make your first $1,000 on the farm. Now, I know this may feel impossible if you're looking at, a tiny garden space, or you've got empty pastures, you haven't got any animals on farm yet. And I remember even when we were trying to turn this farm basically from a hobby into some real money. The good news is whether you're raising beef cattle, pigs, chickens, whether you're growing a garden, whether you're doing cut flowers, the principles are all the same. I'm Jason, and today we're going to talk about how to make your first $1,000 on the farm, regardless of what you're growing. All right, let's do it. Real quick, we have a newsletter, The Part-Time Farmer. This comes out every Sunday about 10 a.m. I talk about how to market your products on your farm, how to use social media and websites to grow your farm. I also talk about farming, raising cattle, chickens, pigs. We go through it all, and it's about building your farm business. Sign up now, and you also get a free PDF on how to use ChatGPT to write your social media, to write your newsletters, and to help write product descriptions for your products. This is free download for signing up for the newsletter. One newsletter every 1 to 2 weeks, no spam, I promise. Check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value in learning to grow your farm or homestead, and it's free. All right, back to the video. All right, so first, let's talk about the wrong way to do this. A lot of people start out farming thinking, I've got to grow a ton of things, I've got to get a huge social media following, I've got to get a website, I've got to already start at the farmer's market, get all that stuff in place, and then I can start selling. And that is absolutely wrong. That is not how you want to do it. That's a good way to actually burn yourself out before you even get started. So your first $1,000 isn't about scale. It's not about having all these things in place and just growing. It's really proof of concept. You just need to see if what you're planning to do works. And to do that, we need to prove 3 things. 1, will someone actually pay you? 2, can you deliver on what you promised? And 3, can you take that process and do it over and over again? So let's talk about what I'm calling a universal framework. This is a first $1,000 framework that will work for every farm. And in a nutshell, it's 1 product, 10 customers, $100 each. Now, before you say,
Jason, I can't charge $100 for what I'm doing.
Just hang on just a second, hear me out. This isn't literal, it's a framework. You may have 20 customers and you're selling for $50 each. You may have 40 customers selling at $25 each. Again, it's the framework, and we're looking at how we can take it and apply it to your context. If you're selling beef, for instance, yes, you could sell 2 quarter shares easily. Well, 500 would actually be cheap, but let's just say you did 2 quarter shares for 500 bucks. That's $1,000 with only 2 customers. If you're a veggie farmer, maybe you're doing CSAs and you're selling those for $50 each. You would need 20 customers to hit your first $1,000. You might be a cut flower farmer and you're selling, say, bouquets for $100 each. You need 10 customers. So again, it's just a framework. It depends on what you're doing, but it's a way of looking at it and kind of having a roadmap to get from 0 to $1,000. Tells you how many customers you need, how much you need to charge for your product, and you can pretty much, again, apply it to any farm endeavor that you're doing. Essentially, for each farm, the math changes, but the principle doesn't. All right, so let's talk about, here's 5 steps that I think will get you from using the framework that we're talking about, get you from 0 to making your first $1,000. So step 1 is just start with what you have ready. Again, you can plan all day, okay, I'm gonna get 10 cows and we'll raise them out and we'll do this, but that's, in essence, it's not getting started. That's not making you money. So start with what you have. If you have a couple chickens, start with those. If you're already getting some eggs, go ahead and start with those. If you have some cattle, garden, you know, whatever's in season, what you're growing at that time, don't wait until, well, I can't grow tomatoes until this time, so I'm going to wait on that to start selling. Just start with what you have. The main thing with this is that your first $1,000 isn't about being perfect or having just the right conditions. It's really just about getting started. Step 2 is pick something, get good at that. Pick that one thing, get good at it. So I'm guilty of this. When we first started, I tried to grow a ton of things at one time, and that just didn't work. I was way spread too thin. Point is, pick one thing and get good at that. That will definitely help you sell more. It'll help you be more focused on what you're selling, and it'll just make life a whole lot easier. You can see the cows back there. Hey, ladies. Yeah, their bellies are full. They're happy. So back to having one product, it means you can have simpler messaging. You're not selling a million things. One message, one product makes your life a whole lot easier and makes it easier for the customer to understand. 2, easier pricing. Obviously, having one product, you may have variable products with that one thing, but still it's a whole lot easier to price one product than it is for 10. You can have better delivery of that product, meaning you can perfect the process. If you get really good at that one thing, that just makes life a lot easier. You know, take for instance veggies. You might have tomatoes where you got to store out, but you got lettuce you got to keep cool. They may have different lifespans, and so having different products in that scenario makes delivery and keeping stuff fresh and ready hard. So having one product makes it a lot easier to simplify that process. And the last one I'd say is you look like a specialist, not a generalist. When you're growing one thing, it's like, well, this is the tomato person, this is the beef person, this is what they do. It helps to, you know, like I said, grow in your niche, if you will. You become the person that they think of when they think of that product. And step 3, I think this is a big one here, and that is sell to people that you already know, especially if you're first getting started. Brand new customers off the internet, social media are not your customers to begin with. You really need to start with family, friends, people that you know, and then get feedback from them. They can tell you, hey, I think you could do this better, or hey, I noticed this in your pitch, you might want to try this, and they're going to be honest with you. You can check with your neighbors, family and friends, obviously. You go to church, people you go to church with, coworkers, you can check with those people. So just again, try to keep it with people that you're familiar with and people that you know. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking,
Jason, I don't want to be that guy that's always selling stuff or pushing stuff on people.
and I totally get that. And there's a way to do it. I don't mean every time you see these people, that's all you talk about. But a lot of these people, they want to support you. They're your friends, they're your family. It's not about what you're selling, it's about supporting you. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't shy away from letting people know what you have for sale and what you're doing. When we first got started, we sold all of our meat to people we knew. Mainly it was coworkers. I would take eggs to work and I would put a bag in the break room and I would put a little sign, $5 a dozen. And then with our beef, when we got that, that was initially first family and friends. And then from there it grew. We started with the website and grew from there. But again, starting off with people that you know, it helps you perfect your process. It gets you used to selling. And it's just a much simpler and comfortable way to ease in to selling products to other people that will eventually be people you don't know. All right, step 4 in this process is price your products right. And I mean, don't be the cheap person. This is where farmers kill themselves before they even get started, as they start out thinking,
Oh, I'm the new person. I need to make my prices really affordable so I can get these first sales.
and that is the worst thing you can do. In reality, you're just starting out. So one, you're not as efficient, it takes longer, you may not be getting the cheapest supplies to do your products, and for that reason, you need to charge more. You need to cover that time, you need to cover that expense. If this process makes your product expensive, well, good. I mean, you're offering a premium product. You're not Walmart, you're not Kroger. You're putting a lot of time and labor into what you're doing, things that aren't done by supermarkets. And people that want to support you, people that want these quality products, they'll pay it. People that don't want these things, they were never your customer to begin with. So don't worry about that. Just a little guide I use is I feel like if every now and then I don't have someone that's telling me my product's too expensive, then I'm probably too cheap. Now, I don't want it all the time, but again, you need to charge what you're worth, and you're selling a premium product. Don't be afraid to charge for that. All right, and the last step that I have for you is make it stupid easy for people to buy from you. This is where a lot of farms lose sales, in that someone does want to buy from them, and they're like, how do I get your product? And then you start thinking, oh, well, you could send me a DM, and then maybe I could send you a Venmo back, or, oh, you don't have Venmo? Huh. When you do it like that, you're going to lose sales that way. It makes it hard for the customer, makes it hard for you because you're trying to figure this out. And it's not to say don't use those processes. Venmo and PayPal do make things easier, but you need to have it all in one step. Meaning if the customer says, hey, I want to buy from you, already have maybe your QR code saved. So you bet, here you go. I just sent you the QR code, or I just sent you my Venmo. You can pay here and I'll get it to you here, or I'll bring it to work and do this. Already have your process down for how customers are going to pay and how they're going to get it to you. Obviously, cash or check, they can get that to you. Venmo and PayPal, you can use QR codes. You can actually just send them your information. If you're with them, they can scan your phone and do it like that. The main thing is that just have that in place before you start selling. Have somebody practice with you. Figure out, how you're going to do this transaction. Pretend like they're the customer. And this will help you really get this process down, and it makes you look professional. It lets them pay the way they want, and it just makes the process very easy if you've got it down to begin with. There are things, yes, I do websites. I sell websites, but you don't need websites for this stuff. You don't need any of the fancy, expensive things to make this process happen. You just need a plan. Basically, making use of these free, well, I won't say free because you do pay commissions, but it's part of doing business, and they make your life so much easier. These small commissions that you pay to have your money go right into your accounts. Again, if you can get cash or check, great, but don't not use these services because of that, because you'll lose more sales. And again, one of the things that helps you make sales is making it stupid easy for the customer. So now let's talk about the reality check. You're going to mess this up at some point, and it's not a bad thing. It's just part of learning this whole process. And so don't worry about that. It's going to happen. You're going to underprice your product, and no worries. You can learn for the next time. You're going to overpromise something, meaning you may say, I'm going to have 50 chickens. We'll have them ready for you. And then, predator things happen, and you end up with 35. Again, this happens. Just scale it back a little bit. You may have delivery dates. You may have something wrong with your systems where you're sending them the payment info and it's not going to the right place. Just things are going to happen, and just know that it's okay. It happens to all businesses. It happens to everyone starting out, and you'll learn. You'll learn from these things, and it'll help you get these systems really dialed in and in place so that going forward, everything's much more efficient and much more smooth. Making your first $1,000 on the farm isn't about being profitable. It isn't about scaling. It's really about learning and getting your systems into place so that as you start to make more money, you've got a pathway to do that. Each sale that you do will teach you what people want, what they're willing to pay, what questions they might ask, which helps you formulate answers for the next time, and just what problems will come up in this whole process. The takeaway here is that after your first 10 customers, you're going to be way better than your first customer. And after your 100 customers, you're going to be way better than your first 10 customers. And again, you just do it, you get better, and things get easier. But you only learn by doing it. And that brings us to the end of this. Your first $1,000, again, isn't about making money. It's just about learning the process. It's about crossing that line from I'm a farmer thinking about beginning to sell products to I'm now a farmer selling products. It provides you with proof that people want what you're selling, that you can run a business, and that this whole idea of starting a farm and growing a farm, bringing in some either side hustle or main money in for your household and your family is a real thing, and it can really happen. And one of the best parts is that once you hit that first $1,000, you've done that. And now you just got to start repeating it. And you already know how to do that because you made $1,000. So it's kind of a system that then starts to grow upon itself, meaning you make that second $1,000, and then now you make 2,000, and then all of a sudden 2,000 becomes 4,000. And it's just like anything else. The more reps you put in, the better you're going to be at it. So if you're sitting on a farm and it's 100 acres, if it's 2 acres, and you're wondering when you should start making money or when you will start making money, start now. Pick one product that you have ready available right now, price it right, tell 10 or 20 people that you already know, and make it easy to buy. There you go. Your first $1,000 is a whole lot closer than you think. And really the hardest part of this whole thing is just getting started. So hope you found this helpful. Hope you can maybe take something away from this, apply it to your farm, your homestead. If you have a question, want to share an experience, have any comments, leave them below. I try to answer every one of them. And otherwise, we'll catch you in the next one. All right, bye.